Isn't it interesting that it all appears to start and end in the same way? The same level of excitement, the same level of sadness. The journey to it may differ, but the story ends the same way. As a child, you're born. Family are excited. Is it going to be a bouncing baby boy? A beautiful little princess? Family come together, wishing you all the best, the brightest of future ahead of you. When you begin to cry, depending on the level of rest mom and dad has had, will determine how to respond to you. There are times where you're going to be a little monster. And there are other times where you're just going to be the cutest little baby. When you're sleeping, you look innocent. When you're not so innocent. You transition into walking, but just remember they've only just got used to you. Settling, okay? And build this routine. Start walking. And now they've got to try and get this new settings around to make sure that you're not touching anything and breaking things. That nuisance phase kicks in again. And this goes on as you move from one stage to another. Your first qualification, your first drawing. 20 years down the line, you look at that drawing, you're like, what was this about? Why were you keeping this? That funky stick man. That rock that you painted. That leaf that you attached to a paper. It's like every other leaf that's out there that everybody else has done. But this one's special because you did it. You drew your fingers, you drew your hands. It was your touch. Your graduation, the smile on your face. You're finally grown. If you're lucky enough to have built connections of your own, those connections go with you. And if you're not, the whole phase of isolation begins. You're on your own. Depending on the sort of childhood you've had, you can either become confident and able to face the world and able to build and trust people. If you're not that fortunate, then you are skeptical when people come around you. What are they after? What do they want from me? What are they trying to take away from me? What is the motive behind that smile? And this goes on. You move from one stage to another, to another. ultimately it comes to that point in our lives where the way it started almost mirrors the ending, but the story is different. It's different in the sense that at the beginning it was full of joy, excitement, and hope. But the ending is full of uncertainty. There's a hope that you have, but it doesn't go all the way in. You see the end approaching, but you almost ignore it. Because if we can ignore it, then it can't be reality. But it is there. It's staring at you in the face. Those movements and those journeys you used to take never seem to be as easy as it once used to be. There are aches and pains that were never there before. There are times where you just sit slightly longer than you need to. Getting up from the sofa or the chair takes slightly longer than it needs to. Reality's kicking in, but we can't focus on that because it's all in the mind, we tell ourselves. The end's approaching. But if we close our eyes, we can pretend that it isn't. But that's okay, because we do that with everything else. The Disney movies and every other fairy tale that we tell ourselves. And somehow we've made this stick. Of course we can make this stick. Dad's not getting old. Can't be. And Mum's not getting old. They're strong. They've always been strong, we say. Unfortunately, just the way we started, relying and dependent on the people around us, which at that time may have been our parents, our uncles, our aunties. We've now become dependent on the next generation. But this is the thing. What was it that we've left to make this moment count? This journey through life that we've had. What was that seed we planted that makes it a worthwhile journey? Were you kind? Were you principled? Did you stand up for people when it mattered? Did you call out on kindness? Or did you just turn away and pretend it wasn't happening? Just like this moment, you tell yourself. Did you put your foot down when it mattered? did you just stay there and hope that nobody notices? The seed we plant will come to bear fruit. Sometimes it bears fruit in our lifetime, and other times it does it after we're gone. If somebody was to mention who you are, what would they say? My dad was a great person. He told amazing stories. My mum was an incredible person. They were patient. They were encouraging. What would your fruit be? Because, like with every story, it has to have a beginning and it has to have an ending. But the way in which it impacts on the listener differs. It differs because the message is understood. It differs because maybe it isn't, and you've just missed the point. So the person could either go, that was amazing, or they could go, that was dreadful. And it becomes a memory that is easily deleted. What should your memory be? And what is it that you're doing to make it worthwhile? Because at the end of the day, we've only got one shot at this game of life. What should your story be? And if you haven't already began to make that impact because you've played it safe, there's no harm in that, but it's that moment of realization that this might be the moment we amend our course and make it count. Make it count for our grandchildren. I say our grandchildren like I'm a grandparent. For our children, for our families, for our friends, for our loved ones, for the people that are important to you and the people that are not, because our extension and journey to transformation and impact on people doesn't only have to lie between our immediate family, because we come into contact with a lot of people on a daily basis. Isn't it time that we paid attention to what's happening around us? Say hello every so often. Smile every so often. Because that just might be what that person needed from you. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time. You stay safe.